Alright, this is day 16 of me picking an album from this filter and working out to it and giving it a review. This is a series I've been doing called Muscle Music, and I only do albums that I've never heard before, so let's see what we get. I've already heard Born to Run. It's probably Springsteen's best. I mean, it has Jungle Land, obviously Born to Run, Meeting Across the River. We actually did it on our podcast if you want to hear that. I've already heard My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I know people love it, and it has some of his best songs of all time on it, but it's just so incredibly inconsistent. D'Angelo's Voodoo. Okay. Alright, we're back from the gym. We did our usual Stairmaster day with a little bit of ab workout. So here are my thoughts on Voodoo by D'Angelo. So I feel like a lot of people today don't really know too much about D'Angelo, and that's because he went on a big hiatus after the release of this album. He went 14 years in between this album and his next one. So a lot of people seem to forget that he was this really big cultural powerhouse in the late 90s and early 2000s based off of this album as well as his debut, Brown Sugar, in 1995. But this album was pretty fantastic. It was very soulful, like neo-soul almost. There's a lot of jazz cuts, a lot of R&B cuts, and, you know, his vocal style is pretty fantastic. A lot of those really high falsetto notes with a lot of chords, a lot of, like, group vocals, a lot more horns, and, you know, it's just a great vibe. I think in a lot of ways, this album shares a lot of elements to another album I did before, which is Baduism by Erykah Badu, which is very much in the same aspect. You know, it's got those R&B, soul, jazz, vibey tracks. Again, not very good at the gym, just based off of that, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad album. I think it's a great album. I think it's just slightly underneath that album in terms of ranking and just general vibe, but yeah, not a good gym album. However, I think this album is pretty fantastic. I think in the right setting, it could be even better, and on more repeated listens, I could give it a higher score. But I think in the right setting, maybe for like a smoke sesh or like, you know, chilling, sipping some wine or something, I think this album could be, you know, pretty great. It's also fun going back through these albums and seeing the inspiration they would have on later artists, because I hear a lot of Anderson .Paak and Pharrell being influenced by this album specifically. My only real criticism on the album is that it's pretty long. It's an hour and 20 minutes, and a lot of the tracks are stretched out from anywhere from like 5 minutes all the way to like 8. So if a lot of the kind of repetitiveness and dead air was cut from this, I think if it was a bit more trim, it would be fantastic. But yeah, my favorite tracks probably have to go to The Line, Send It On, The Root, as well as Untitled, How Does It Feel? But yeah, it was a great album. I think in the right context, it could be even better, maybe on more repeated listens. But in terms of a ranking, I'm probably going to give it like a mid-8, like a low to mid-8, sitting right in that region. Like and follow for more, unless this app gets banned. Goodbye.